It's Ash from SuperVideos back for another video for The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the teaser that they released for the third season, and we're going to be breaking it down. Things are definitely looking a bit more promising as far as the first teaser goes when it comes to the Daryl Dixon show. Obviously, if you've been following the channel, you know I wasn't a big fan of the first two seasons, mostly because of the storyline around Laurent's story and all of that. I didn't think that it had any type of impact, and I feel like it was just getting dragged out. But things are definitely looking a little bit more promising when we look at what they could potentially be doing for the third season. So stay tuned, we'll be right back to break this down. Alright, as always, before we dive into it, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's dive right into it. So obviously, at the end of the second season, Carol and Daryl basically left France. They were on their way to England. Now, as far as they're concerned, that's where they're gonna end up. And from there, they're gonna get to the United States in some way, shape, or form. But based on filming information, we know that they're gonna also stumble upon Spain at some point, and they're gonna spend the majority of the third season in Spain. So obviously that's something to keep in mind, and we will see parts of this teaser that are potentially in Spain. But with that said, we have this shot of Daryl and Carol, super cool. Obviously we have a post-apocalyptic or a more post-apocalyptic setting, more than we're used to on The Walking Dead. We saw a lot of that on the first two seasons of the Daryl Dixon show, and they're continuing it into the third season. We haven't seen this type of post-apocalyptic setting in a while in The Walking Dead, outside the Daryl Dixon show. But obviously we have the two of them here in the UK, and we can see that it's just as broken as everywhere else. It's just as fallen as other places like France and America. We know this is in the UK because of the bus in the background, obviously. Now, I don't think they're gonna spend too much time in England, maybe barely an episode, but obviously they are gonna be in England for a little bit. And I think that this scene with this new character is gonna be in England. Obviously, this is a comedian actor called Stephen Merchant portraying a character on the third season, and he's obviously English. But of course, they're not gonna spend too much time in England because we quickly see the boat in the ocean, which means they're gonna use the boat, that small boat that we saw, to go somewhere else. And we do see the second half of the teaser shift towards a different type of setting, and I think this is in Spain. It looks like Daryl is in some sort of community. It looks like they found some sort of community, and based on the look on Carol's face here, it looks like the place they found is a little weird, a little out of norm. And I feel like they stumbled upon a different type of cult again, just like many times on The Walking Dead, they see a new cult, and that's the threat they have to deal with. But this threat, this cult is in Spain. It looks like there's people dancing around some sort of bonfire. Very interesting and very cultish, to be honest. But we have Daryl here on a motorbike in some sort of desert. Looks pretty cool. Not an environment we're used to on The Walking Dead, so that's definitely new. But in the voiceover, someone says, I was ready to give up, or I was getting ready to give up, or something. It sounds like the person talking has a Spanish accent, so I think it's a new character. But we have this shot of Daryl as well. Not much to break down. And then we have Carol killing a walker here. And then we have this pretty awesome shot of Daryl on a horse on a train track with what looks to be like a canyon type environment around him. This looks super cool. The setting is super awesome and unique. This actually reminded me of like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. So this is definitely a new environment that's way different than what we saw on even the first two seasons in France. And I think that's a good thing. We have this shot of a new character. I think this guy's Spanish. He looks Spanish, and I think he's the one talking. He says, I thought it was all over, so that's the continuation of what he was saying earlier. We see more walkers here. I think this is in some sort of city, maybe England, maybe somewhere in Spain. But we have Daryl here shooting someone, and then the teaser ends with this shot of Daryl and Carol. And in the background, Carol says in the voiceover, "Me and you both." So she's just reiterating how she was also ready to give up, and she looks at Daryl in a way like maybe Daryl was the one that stopped her from giving up or something like that. Now obviously with this shot right here, with what Carol is wearing and the way she's dressed, they are insinuating something, and they are definitely, I don't want to say tease, but they are pointing towards a particular direction. However, I don't think that that's where they're going. I think they're just teasing fans and not actually doing it. Now, I've shared my thoughts around that whole story, but I think honestly for fans who are waiting for Daryl and Carol to get together at this point, can just watch a different show. Like, if you're watching the show only for that, this is not your show. This is not the type of show for you. So I feel like at this point it's becoming a running joke, fans waiting for something with them. So I hope that they don't really spend too much time on that in the third season, because I'm not interested in that. Many fans are in the same boat. There are a few fans who do want that and do enjoy that, but I think the majority of Walking Dead fans don't really care about that side of the story at this point. Obviously, the writers are pointing towards that. They've been pointing towards that forever. We are where we are now. And that's pretty much everything that was in this teaser. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.